Kamala Harris and Tim Walz will be talking with CNN, the first interview for the Democratic ticket here in the 2024 cycle. Chris Graham here for Augusta Free Press, and now the media can stop whining. I don't think we'll see that. The news breaking today, Tuesday, that CNN chief political correspondent Dana Bash will be talking with. Did I say that right? Donna. She doesn't say Dana. Donna Bash. She'll be interviewing Harrison Waltz for a segment that will air at 9 p.m. ET on Thursday. The legacy media has made a huge issue out of the lack of a sit down by the Harris Waltz side. And what's odd to me about that is it just completely overlooks Donald Trump, who only does sit downs with friendly MAGA interviewers. Sean Hannity is a favorite, the Newsmax folks. And then that's around it. Otherwise, him staging what he calls press conferences that are really more just like hour-long stream of consciousness political rallies with questions that he may or may not answer. Um, the news about the interview comes as Trump is now saying that he will take part in the September 10th ABC News debate that had already been agreed to by the two major party campaigns. He'd been hinting for a few days that he was maybe not going to do that. Um, I'm not sure. I'm in an odd place, let's say, because as a member of the media, you would think that I am someone who would say, yeah, they need to sit down and talk to the media. Everybody needs to sit down and talk to the media. In this environment in 2024, maybe it even started in sports with the Players Tribune website that allowed athletes to talk directly to their fans without the media, which is it's a Latin word for in the middle, having to interpret things for them. The legacy media, with respect to the Harris Walz campaign, has been just in this constant state of meltdown over this whole interview issue, which to me, a couple odd things. One, are we trying to frame Donald Trump talking to Sean Hannity and whoever? I don't know the people in Newsmax. I have to admit, and the One American Network, which if it even still has any kind of relevance at this stage, after being booted off of a couple of its platforms. Um, is does that why make an issue of one and not the other, and vice versa? And then two, taking those organizations taking his random phone calls where he wants to pontificate on whatever's on his mind that morning, again, doesn't qualify as, sitting down for a tough grilling by the media. But yet we don't hear anything about that from the legacy media. We just hear that, well, Harris won't talk to anybody. It's been a talking point of the Trump campaign, and the media folks are lapping it up for him. Already too, the media types who are making that issue for Trump also going full throat about how they aren't releasing any policy positions. Which again, seriously, I mean, can anyone listening to me reading Augusta Free Press articulate a single policy position from the Trump Vance RFK Jr. campaign? We'll start calling it now because that's what it is. And no Trump ranting about Democrats being communists isn't a policy position. Now, I'll give him credit. He does keep talking about wanting to slap tariffs on China. I guess that's a policy position. It's also an economic development disaster, economic policy disaster in the making, given that the cost of those tariffs would end up just getting passed on to consumers, because that's what happens. If something comes in from China and then we put a 10% or whatever percent tariff on top of that, the producers are going to have to just put a 10% or whatever cost extra onto that item and those items and pass that on. Consumers will end up paying that. That's a tax on us. That's not a tax on China. It's a tax on us. How those things work. You can say that's not the case all you want, but that's how those things work. And that Trump doesn't understand this, and that some of you watching right now don't understand this. If you're a MAGA and you say, "Look, tariffs, that's not how it works," then that just undercuts the idea that it's an actual policy position. It's because he threatened this back in his first term, and he never did it. Um, Kamala Harris has made clear on another policy side of things that she intends to lead a reversal of the Trump court's Dobbs decision that overturned reproductive rights freedoms and that had been enshrined in law for 50 plus years by Roe v. Wade. That's a policy position. She has reaffirmed our support for Ukraine as it defends itself from Russian aggression. That's another policy position. Trump, for his part on that war, on the Ukraine-Russia war, has a secret plan to end the war, kind of sounding like Richard Nixon back in 68 with Vietnam. And you know already that his secret plan is to let Putin do whatever he wants. And if you knew that already, then you win the pony. Back to Harris, she has reaffirmed our support for NATO, which Trump, serving the interest again of his pal Putin, once dismantled. She, Harris, has pledged to maintain Social Security, which Trump and his far right allies in Congress have threatened to cut. Trump wants to repeal the Affordable Care Act and replace it with a plan that he promised us years ago was better, but he hasn't seen fit to share with the rest of us. The Harris policy on the ACA is it's working, let's keep it going. So, given all that, it's been a month since Harris stepped in as the new Democratic candidate. She's been the nominee for a few weeks now. I can't blame them for waiting this amount of time. I would have advised them not to go ahead and schedule a sit-down interview because the media is being disingenuous. The legacy media is being disingenuous. They pretend that it's Trump bloviating to his golf buddies is taking hard questions. It pretends that he has articulated hard policy positions when he hasn't. And the media pretends that she hasn't gone into depth or detail on her policy positions when she has. We can see where this is all going. CNN, which did end up getting the debate, their ratings are down big time. So congratulations, you get a chance at a hour of good ratings. And I guess they're going to milk the heck out of it on Thursday. They're going to talk all day long about how they have Kamala and Walz at 9 o'clock. But they're down big time since the end of the Trump administration because they went full bore in 2015, 2016 into Trump. And the Washington Post, same thing. Just Post is on its last legs. Dramatic reader and subscriptions declines post-Trump. The New York Times seems to be doing okay in terms of the business side of things, but its recent push on both sides is a clear signal that it has its finger on the scale, and you don't have to wonder why. They're giving Trump a free pass and badgering Harris, and it's because they need eyeballs to be able to pay their bills. And they decided way back in 2015 that Trump brings the eyeballs. And again, if I was the Harris Walz team, I wouldn't be talking to any of them. Not in 2024 when you can go straight to the people yourself, just like with the Players Tribune. You can use social media. You can use whatever there are so many means now to get things out there without having a filter of a mainstream media with its fingers on the scales. So there we go. If you have any, I don't know, if you have any comments, put them on the YouTube here. If you have any questions for me or story ideas for me, I'd love to hear from readers. And please get in contact with me. And the email address to do that is chris@augustafreepress.com.